Okay, so maybe you don't feel that comfortable with jumping into a rowboat on the Grand River right now. No problem. We're going to head into Grand River Fitness with rowing coach Ewan Reid, and he's going to show us how we can learn all the basics of rowing and get the health benefits from it on a Concept 2 rower. All right, so let's go on in, see what we can learn. Look inside most gyms and you'll find one of these, a Concept 2 rowing machine, known to the world-class rowers that use them for training as an erg. Now, they're nothing to be afraid of. With a little technique, these can provide you with a full-body, outstanding workout. And there's nobody better locally to give you that technical instruction than rowing coach Ewan Reid.
So first thing to do, actually I'll just back up a little bit, is when you sit down on the machine, the first thing to do before you begin your workout is you think to strap on your feet. But in fact what you want to do is first set the resistance, which is here on the side. And for a taller, heavyweight man like myself, I set the resistance at 7. There's very little need to go above that. For women, you should be down around 4. And then for youth or juniors, you should be down around 1 or 2. And really you don't want to set the resistance too high. Then grasp the handle, so you have control of the handle in one hand, and then insert your feet into the foot stops here. And the way that these foot stops adjust is so that your foot should rest, the toe, or rather the ball of your feet should rest on the foot pad, which is stationary. And then you can adjust it to raise the heel higher. And then the foot strap itself should go across your midfoot, just below the ball of your feet. Then you can transfer your grip to both sides of the handle, and you can integrate your entire body into the stroke. That's one of the beautiful things about using one of the rowing machines, is it integrates your entire body, all of your major muscle groups, into the stroke. One of the most important things about rowing and about on the stationary rower is your posture. So at no point should you bent over with your back all arched and bent, where you would be more susceptible to an overuse injury. What you want to do is be sitting nice and tall with the tension being on your abdominals, staying nice and tight, and then you want to slide all the way up. Now, if you're adjacent to a mirror, what you want to be looking for is for your shins to be vertical, straight up and down, 90 degrees to the floor. You can have a slight lift to your heels, so that there's some gap between your heel and the bottom of the foot stop. And your arms want to be nice and straight. So you're in a good, nice, straight, athletic position, and then you just drive back with the legs. So your leg drive, your back opens through momentum, and then you want to pull your handle into the upper abdominals. For women, this would be just below your lower bra strap. Then your handle comes forward again, letting your body come forward, not just your shoulders, but your whole body. And the marker here is to watch the handle, make sure it goes past your knees, and then you float back up your slide. And just like jogging, or running, or walking, it's about keeping a consistent output, a consistent pace, if you will, both in the amount of times you move up and down the slide, and also keeping a nice steady recovery pace, which is when you're sliding back to the slide. For me, I kind of automatically drop into a pace, but the pace or the reference to your jogging pace in rowing is called steady state. So your steady state pace is basically between anywhere from 18 to 22 strokes per minute, dependent upon your height and your fitness level. So obviously the longer and taller you are, probably the lower your stroke rate is going to be for steady state. But more importantly, it's about rest and recovery between strokes, and also how long you want to row for. So that's interval training is really integral to learning to row, so that you're setting yourself up for success with shorter intervals in the beginning, with rest, and doing multiple intervals, but essentially at the same pace. All right, so once you get used to the 10-minute intervals, you should be doing in one workout probably about 4 times 10 minutes, and with 2 minutes of rest in between each interval. You can program in the computer how to do that, And if you ever need a brief tutorial, in fact, on the computer display, you can get a little brief technique tutorial on how to best use the machine. But in terms of actual workouts, the 10-minute intervals with 2-minute rests are a great start. You can maybe do 3 to 4 of them your first workout, and keep that consistent. Do that 2 times a week for 2 to 3 weeks, so that you get comfortable both in your technique and also in your fitness on the rowing machine. What you can then do is you can start to increase the intensity, and you can start doing, for example, workouts like 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off. And the 3 minutes on machine, your rate, your stroke rate per minute would be over high 20s, low 30s strokes per minute. So the intensity is quite high. And then you would have a dynamic rest, so you wouldn't be static, but rather dynamic in between those 3 minutes to recover. And then you go back into that race pace or intense pace for 3 minutes. That is one of my favorite workouts. But you need to have good technique, and you need to know what you're doing before you go into it, otherwise you're going to be walking funny the next day. So I hope this is of some use to anybody that's interested in using this machine.